One of the major sources of carbon emissions as well as environmental pollution is the energy sector, so power plants and related companies as well as entities. So it makes sense to consider technologies to help us either reducing or completely abandoning old fossil fuel-based technologies and look for something more sustainable. Most famously, you probably have heard of solar panels or solar power and wind farms as the sources for green energy. Of course, they are super famous and there is no limit to wind or the sun, but they also require a lot of resources and complex production cycles and complex recycling processes to provide you this green energy. So it's nothing that you get for free. There are also other less common examples of alternative sources of energy that are considered to be green, like tidal power, where you use the energy of the tides going up and down in certain places or at certain places of this planet to generate energy. So this obviously only works at places where you have a large difference between low and high tide and not in, I don't know, the middle of France or the Alps, because there you lack those high tides. It only works at very selective places, but there it's a convenient source of energy, but still highly complex. Other sources are being researched. Another more experimental source of unlimited and sustainable energy is supposedly fusion power. So in contrast to nuclear energy, you're not trying to split an atom to get energy or to attain energy. Instead, you try to fuse atoms together, which also creates, under certain circumstances, a lot of free energy. And there are like some startups, companies, and research facilities working on it, but there is no industrial-sized working product yet. So we still cannot really rely on it. In France, they are building a large research reactor that is supposed to start working in the next decade or so. Also in Germany, near Greifswald, they are researching a different design of those fusion power reactors, but they are not production ready yet. And they are still working with nuclear materials, so they inherit some of the problems that also nuclear energy has. And another big part of the energy sector is the question of how do I store energy, which is specifically tied to renewable energies when you think about wind or solar. At night, there's usually no sun. The wind is not available at all times, 24/7. So the question is, how can you store energy? Sure, you can try to put it in your battery, and that especially works if you think about smart grid solutions where you take your solar power, use it to charge your car, and at night when there is no solar power available, your charged car gives energy back to your home that you can then use to power your fridge or your, I don't know, stove or similar devices. Another approach is power to X, where you use excess energy from renewables to produce something else, to produce X. You can use that to produce green hydrogen, but also in the production process, for example, for e-fuels or e-methanol or other chemical processes that can store energy and then you can later use them. As already mentioned, green hydrogen being among those that are quite famous in this example, hydrogen being potentially used in quite a variety of use cases when being produced from renewables. It's pretty much the same as gas that we burn and source from fossil fuel or fossil sources, and you can just like create green hydrogen to replace that and then use it in pretty much the same way. So you can use it in the agriculture sector, you can use it to power cars or vehicles, you can use it in the chemical industry, you can also use it to heat homes, and you can use it as other sources of power.